Updates on our today's visit to our indefatigable clients, Onyendu and Nambikano, at the headquarters of the Department of State Service, DSS Abuja, where he is now being illegally and unconstitutionally held in solitary confinement. Wonderful people, men and women of good conscience, all of us of freedom all over the globe. We welcome you back once again to our News Digest. This is coming from the desk of Nikki Bobby as regards to the routine visits of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu by the legal team of IPOB as being scripted by Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor. I quote, "We visited Onyendi today, 7th November 2022, at the DSS headquarters Abuja to specifically brief him on the status of the pending appeal before the Supreme Court, as well as bring to his noble attention that our legal team, eminently led by Chief Mike Ozekeme's son, has a qualified a gross appeal, wherein we are inviting the Supreme Court to review certain aspects of the Courts of Appeal judgments being appealed against." Onyendu was also informed that the federal government of Nigeria has ostensibly abandoned their appeal, as the time allowed for them to file their appellant brief is at the verge of elapsing, with no sign in sight that they are ready to take the bull by the horn. Other far-reaching strategies are agreed upon to ensure that we give the federal government of Nigeria a hot chase, for their incompetent appeal will remain private. Be that as it may, the routine visits afforded me the opportunity to carefully listen to Onyendu's complaints over his deteriorating health condition. The DSS has upgraded their psychological routine torture of Onyendu, as he narrated to me today. It is a fact and on record that Onyendu has been denied medication for the past 4 days. This inhumane treatment and grievous mental torture has consequently triggered the excruciating pains associated with a chronic ulcer and heartburn, which Onyendu has equally been diagnosed of, in addition to other life-threatening health conditions that Onyendu is currently battling with. Today, 7th November 2022, marked the 4th day that Onyendu is denied of his routine medication, and despite several protestations by Onyendu, which obviously fell on the deaf ears of the lawless DSS. They have maintained a stone-hearted stance on not providing Onyendu with his requisite routine medication. The DSS is now indirectly awaiting the unthinkable to happen to Onyendu, but God forbid. The world is hereby reminded once again that Onyendu Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has since, on the 13th day of October 2022, been legally discharged and acquitted of all frivolous and bogus allegations contained in the hitherto 7-count amended charges framed against him by the FGN, and which most charge has equally been struck out by the Court of Appeal and led to everlasting rest. What we find very disturbing and inconceivable to comprehend is why the FGN, that is the Federal Government of Nigeria, has refused to obey orders made by a court of competent jurisdiction, which directed them to immediately release Onyendu. Rather, the federal government of Nigeria has openly treated the court's orders with greatest disdain and impunity. Our current demand to the DSS is simple. Onyendu should be allowed access to his personal physicians, as was long ordered by the Federal High Court, Abuja. The lawless DSS has remained adamant and continued to unnecessarily subject Onyendu to inhuman forbidden treatments. And this is totally unacceptable. We are likewise placing the world on notice that should anything untoward happen to Onyendu, the world should hold the federal government of Nigeria and the Director General of the DSS fully responsible should any harm befall Onyendu. Nevertheless, our formidable legal team, eminently led by an indefatigable legal icon, Chief Mike Ozekeme's son, have already sworn into action to legally address this lawless and reprehensible conduct by the DSS. And be assured that no courts in Nigeria will sanction this obvious act of executive lawlessness and recklessness. Onyendu also seized the opportunity presented by the visit to express his profound gratitude to Muchineke for standing firm with him in this trying period. He is very delighted with your peaceful and exemplary conduct thus far. Onyendu continues to urge you all to remain focused and law-abiding as you have always been. Particularly now we are exiting the tunnel. Be assured that shall surely end in praises to Muchineke, as the FGN has played their final card, which strategy is dead on arrival. Thank you all, Ezebo Muchineke. Remain blessed. We move. Signed, Sir Ifeanyi Jaffa, Esquire, KSC, IPOB's Legal Counsel, Lead Counsel, 7th of November 2022, unquote. We have heard it, the strategy that the federal government is using right now by denying Mazi Nnamdi Kanu access to medicals. They have not really been giving him medication since 4 days. Now, this is what Barrister Jaffa just presented. And upon that, the federal government of Nigeria is disobeying the court's order, the law that they themselves made. That is where it comes to play. But first, let me just discuss a bit about this issue. The world is hearing what is going on. Different countries, they know what is going on. Britain knows what is going on. I have been convinced that Britain is involved in what is going on. US is involved in what is going on. European countries, they are all involved. This is a world calculated attempt against Biafra, the hostage of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is the truth, I'm telling you. But we must put through, we must overcome all this. We must overcome all this. Did you remember, have you recalled that of late, few days ago, the US consul has been moving from one Biafran land to another. He has gone to Iguacha, he has gone to Bayelsa, he has gone to Akwa Ibom, visiting various governors, telling them in Rivers State, he said that he wants to help Rivers State to fight the waterways insecurity, to guide and protect the waterways territory zone of Biafra land. He went to Akwa Ibom, he told the Akwa Ibom state governor that the US is ready to merge with them, to support them financially when it comes to both to have a robust economy with Akwa Ibom. He went to Bayelsa State. Possibly he will equally talk with them about security, but he has never made mention of any oil thefts. All these pipelines that we are laid from our land to the high sea, this is in conjunction with the Fulani people, with those European countries and American countries. They are taking this oil free. You can understand why this man came back at this point in time. What he has to do is to meet various governors, telling them how he can support them financially as regards to security. But what of the bone of contention, the oil that is being stolen on the high sea of Biafra land? He didn't mention it. But for you to know what is going on, this is the pattern that Britain introduced to the Fulanese. This feudal system that proves to you that there must be a certain class of people, that this certain class of people, law is not turned against them. They can bend the law, they can twist the law, they can change the law at any point in time. They don't want to know. And this is the Fulanese. And that is why today they look at Fulanese as the first-class citizens in Zoological Republic. And within the Fulanese themselves, there is still a class of people, their royal class, that the law cannot go against. That is the feudal system you are hearing. And it has been long they started introducing it into the society, into the Zoological Republic system. And they continue introducing over the years, hundreds of years, and now it has come to manifest. Even to the extent that the court's order, the law that the Zoological Republic introduced, the Fulanese cannot obey it. That is what is playing out. And so that is why when I think about it, sometimes I feel bad because our people fail to understand exactly what is going on. Even to some people who say that they are fighting for Biafran restoration, for Biafran freedom, they don't know what they are doing because a lot of them have decided to turn to infiltrators. At the same time, they are doing the bidding of the Fulanese, helping the Fulanese to continue to conquer them all, to complete their conquest. In the name that they are fighting for Biafran restoration, collecting money from the FG. Today, tell me any country in this world that will vehemently disobey the court's order, their own law, they go contrary to it. Of course, if it were to be another person, individuals, they will send the person to prison without looking back for a minute. But look at it there. The Fulanese are before everybody, your eyes disobeying the court's order. And at the same time, some people are just gallivanting, saying that they are fighting for Biafran referendum, Biafran freedom. Why they are supporting the Fulanese, taking our land gradually, installing their rulership, their kingship from one community to another. Today they are holding Mazen Namdekan, while some are still running around. What we have to do, we have to do it. The only good thing we know is that through Mazen Namdekan, through the DOS, ESN was able to form before now. I tell you by now, maybe you will not be thinking of Barros and talking about us again. And that is why we must support this IPOB, we must support this DOS, we must support this ESN. I want to remind you that last time Mazichina Sanworu made the comments. He said that the strategies that IPOB and ESN is using currently is not what you should come out to be questioned and ask. Nobody will answer you, but know that something is going on. The zoo, the Fulanese, the British, all of them put together with European countries and America, they have come up with this idea and strategy to deny Mazen Namdekan access to medication. But let's see what is going to happen. The next thing that will happen, the zoo itself will not come out of this. Britain is crumbling at this particular point in time. Now America has, remember, they have to renew their theft that they are doing in Biafra land because they are involved in the oil theft you are hearing. All of them from A to Z. But our strategy, our focus is how Mazen Namdekan will come out, and we are really working towards it. If you do not know that today the DOS is still the engine, the heart of this restoration, the heart of all this freedom we are fighting, that means you've not come to learn anything. All of you guys that are infiltrating IPOB, you say you are fighting for freedom, but at the same time, you are challenging IPOB. Very, very soon, the results will come out and you will see it. We decided to bring you these updates for you to see how things are going, because they feel that by starving Mazen Namdekan and denying him access to medicals, that if Mazen Namdekan is no more, that means Biafra will be no more. Not at all. And I tell you, Mazen Namdekan will come out there and Biafra he will see. We thank you for listening. We'll continue bringing you more updates as things unfold.